Well, definitely Detroit. If I was in the NFL and this was the NFL draft or any draft, they say you are officially on the clock. So, City of Detroit, Todd Bettison, Interim Police Chief, is on the clock. And I just want to thank, of course, my wife. I want to thank my family. I want to thank all of my friends. I want to thank the men and women of the Detroit Police Department who are amazing. And so yesterday was a holiday. It was Veterans Day. And I got to work early, so I couldn't help it. I know the men and women of DPD don't rest. And so I went out. I visited the 3rd precinct. I visited the 9th precinct. I went to the 10th precinct. I went to the 2nd precinct, the 6th precinct, and the 8th precinct. And at the precinct, I did roll call, hung out with the officers at roll call. I spent about an hour there, talking to our young officers. There's been so many officers that we've hired since, my departure back in 2022. So it's been about 3 years, but I know we've hired approximately over 500 additional officers. And so, I had a chance to, talk, interact. I asked some of them, hey, do you know me? Do you remember me? Many of the officers did, but some of the newer ones had, they didn't know. I say, do you know where I'm coming from? And some said, like, coming from, like, where? I say, well, deputy mayor. And, with Gen Z, I guess I'm not on their algorithm per se. But so some of them had no clue. Some of them didn't even have a clue what a deputy mayor was. But with that, I am going to be an over communicator. And so that's one thing that you can expect from my administration. I believe in communication. I believe in utilizing the media. I believe in keeping everybody updated. And so we're going to be getting into holiday season as well. And so being preventative, intervention, and then also definitely tough on crime as well. Those are the things that I believe in. I believe in public safety. And so you're going to see holiday tips coming out from our officers, my office as well, telling individuals how to stay safe, different things that they can do. And so at this point, I don't have a lot of additional information to say, but the Detroit Police Department has been on a trajectory of just a downward trend when it comes to violent crime. So you heard at the first of the year when we reported out that violent crime was down its lowest point in over 6 decades. And so even this year trending is continuing to go down even further than that. And so just for the community to let you know that we're trending in the right direction, homicides right now are at 18%. Below where they were at last year this time. Our sexual assaults are down 11% compared to last year this time. Robberies down 16%. Burglary down 2%. Motor vehicle theft down 11%. So you'll say, percentages, what does that mean? That means it's 912 fewer cars stolen this year compared to last year this time. And carjackings down 16%. And non-fatal shootings where a person has been shot but didn't die, that's down 23%. So what does that mean? That means 167 folks fewer were shot this year at the same period of time compared to last year. And so under my tenure, my leadership, I will continue that same trend. So we're going to continue working hard. I got the support of the men and women of the Detroit Police Department as well as the executive leadership team who I already know. I know them. They know me. And with that being said, we're going to continue on pushing, communicating, and I'll make tweaks and work on the spirit of continuous improvement because, even though we're celebrating the numbers being low, it's still far too many. It's definitely far too many, and we will utilize technology, we will treat our officers right, we will utilize the community. My good friend Darrell Woods always say, Darrell Woods, what do you say? We are what?
Fighting a good fight.
And what else?
We won Detroit.
What else? You're not hitting it right. We better together.
We're better together.
We're better together, everybody.
That's
So,
what we do.
so as a community, we're better together, and this is one Detroit. And so I look at the city of Detroit. I look at all of us, and for my folks in suburbia, who visit the city of Detroit, love the city of Detroit. This is one region, and so we are all better together. And you can better believe I'm all about public safety. So with that, I'll open it up to the media. Yes.
Hi, Whitney from Channel 7 here. You mentioned that during Chief White's tenure, we saw a historic low
Yes.
of violent crime, obviously something very important to Detroiters. what's your plan to continue that downward trend when it comes to violent crime, when it comes to things happening in Detroit? Because obviously you said there's still work to be done.
Oh, absolutely. And so definitely working together. And I have been there. And so in my role as deputy mayor, I was Chief White's silent partner. I was right there. And so sitting there, I was in all of the briefings with the executive teams as we came up with plans. And so looking at hotspot policing, looking at the crime trends, making sure that we're utilizing the technology. So, I work very closely to make sure that we were able to bring in technology like ShotSpotter. I lobbied with city council and got that across the table. I was there also working to ensure that our officers had raises so that when I talk about the additional 500 officers that we brought back, that right there, we got them to stop leaving. We could always hire them, but oftentimes they were leaving, going to other departments. And so when you pay people right, not only can you recruit, but you can retain. And so many of the things that have occurred with those historic low trends, I take credit for that as well, because I have been there. We've done it as a team, and that's why it's going to be smooth. We're going to continue on with that, more of it. And so I'm always looking for additional technology as well. And then with our community violence intervention program, that was something that I led out of the mayor's office. And so with Force Detroit, which have had, even beat the citywide trend over in their specific geographic area, over in the Warrendale area, they came in at a 70% reduction in homicides and non-fatal shootings. And so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it'll be an announcement very soon about this quarter numbers. But I can tell you that the community violence intervention, when I say together, community, law enforcement, media, all of us working together, the community intervention has done some amazing things to help contribute to those historic low numbers. And so we're working to bring more of that on. One of the things that I'll be doing as well is bringing additional resources to the city of Detroit, because I learned some new skills working for Mayor Duggan, how to lobby. And so getting additional grant money, also going to fight for Public Safety Trust Fund, where we're trying to bring an additional $18 million to the city of Detroit. So I need to get that legislation passed as well. That will help the Detroit Police Department continue on with the violence reduction in this city. So more resources, more collaboration, more transparency, better together. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Lauren Edwards, Fox 2.
Yes.
Bit of a silly question, but not a really silly question.
Yeah.
The Lions are doing really well.
Yes.
Is there a good chance they could go to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
There's a good chance they could win the Super Bowl. What are the plans? And the only reason I've asked, because I've worked in other championship cities, and they typically have a plan like 3 months out.
Yeah. So guess what? When the Super Bowl was here in 2006, guess who led the public safety coordination, all that? It was me. It was me. With the NFL draft, guess who poured out the plans, the books, and kept everything from 2006 with Super Bowl? Me. I poured out the book, passed the playbook to Chief White. He picked it up, gave it to everybody out, and we handled it. So Detroit, we're used to doing big events. The Detroit Police Department is used to handling big events like that. We are ready, and we set the standard when it comes to safety, public safety protocol when sporting events. And so we are ready. And like I said, I am on the clock. Yes, ma'am.
Obviously, your title right now says interim, but can you talk to us about your ambitions to keep this position permanently and why that would be important to you?
Yeah, in my mind, the interim is just, a thing right there. But you're looking at your permanent chief right now. And so, I mean, I don't see anybody as better. And so I've been here 27 years. And then to pick like an outside chief would symbolize that something is going really bad here. And so they don't do too well when it comes from the outside to the city of Detroit. And so you're looking at your chief. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to compete for it. And anybody else is just practicing.
That's why I like my